Hello everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa, and we're back to talk about Ready to Love Season 8, Episode 3, I believe. Is it? Let's see. It's Episode 4, Black and Beautiful Hoedown. So Tommy has gathered all the women together and has decided to let them know that today they're gonna be on a hoedown date, and I guess it's a southern Texan thing. It's a dance type of thing, like a southern dance type of thing, kind of like those Victorian balls, where everybody gets together to dance. Either way, Katarina comes in. This is the first time the women have seen Katarina. Unique is particularly, I should say, threatened by Miss Katarina, as well as I'm pretty sure the women are too, but they only highlighted Unique for a specific reason. I feel like she's next to go home, but we shall see. So then Sierra goes on a date with Morier, because she's trying to see if there's more to their connection than just a friendship. And I see something there, like I see the potential for something. But that's just something we'll have to see. It has to be on both sides. I don't know if Sierra is 100% into exploring that, or if Morier is 100% into exploring that. I feel like Morier is more so like, if you want it to go there, then we can make it go there. But I feel like he's being safe. Like he's waiting for her and seeing what she does. And then he's gonna, I suppose, follow up. But then we had another date that Lee had with Red. Extremely awkward from the beginning. You could tell that Lee is not that interested in Red, which makes me wonder why she decided to go on a date with him, because I just don't see anything there. I remember she said in the women's lounge in previous episodes that he was boring, and she laid it out to him in a nice way that he wasn't particularly the most interesting person. And this man is on a redeeming, or I should say redemption hobo tour this episode, because he is just trying to prove to Lee that he is more than just this guy in a thought job. He has to prove that he's worked in corporate, list all of his previous jobs, working for the city of Dallas or whatever. And Lee is looking at him like, wow, like when I asked you to tell me about yourself, I didn't mean to tell me your professional life. This is not a job. But it comes across as if Red is trying to get a corporate job, and it just is not gonna work, not with Lee. So Lee wanted him to show her his other side, his fun side. And I feel like it's unfair for Red to have to prove that he is his job. Like, they hear he's a comedian, they hear he's a DJ, and they attach a fun, open personality to those jobs. But really and truly, a lot of comedians are very serious and deep thinking people, but all people see is the jokes. But the jokes are part of their job, so they're gonna do what that job requires, which is make people laugh. But outside of that job, he is the personality that you see, and if you don't like it, move on. If you like it, then great. But I feel like he shouldn't have to perform his job on an intimate date where it's all about getting to know each other and connecting with that person authentically. So I feel like that was a little unfair to ask of him, but I understand, because Lee wants something to connect to, and what she's seeing, she cannot connect with. So I feel like, if anything, this date proved to Lee that Red is not her person, period. Why is no one coming to the conclusion that Aries looks like Nia Long? Aries looks like a young Nia Long. She looks like an even present Nia Long. She looks like she could be Nia Long's sister, but I have not heard anybody have that take for Aries. Like, you guys, don't you see it? It's in her eyes. The men and women are at the hoedown spot, getting to know each other, mingling. Everyone gets to meet the new contestants, Christopher and Katerina. The women like Chris and the men like Katerina for the most part. Unique, she clearly has a thing for Christopher. You could see it off the bat. I feel as if she's moved from Marvin and now she's into Christopher, because the interaction with her and Marvin was very telling that they don't communicate as much and she's not as intrigued. I don't see it. So Christopher is her new number one guy. And Christopher, I feel like because he's not getting through with who he really is interested in, he's giving Unique another chance. But I feel like if he was indeed getting through with who he was really interested in, who I think is Janelle, he wouldn't give Unique any time of day. But because she keeps gravitating towards him, he's like, I mean, what is there for me to lose? You know, the name of the game is to form as many connections as you possibly can, even when you're not feeling that person as much. You know, it's a numbers game. So we learn that Janelle's top connections are Quinton and Herbert. And Herbert is really popular in these streets because I feel like the women feel he is manly and he'll be able to take care of them. I feel like that's the biggest attraction the women have with Herbert. Herbert, on the other hand, seems equally as interested or more so in Janelle, and so we see that Quinton and Herbert are kind of competing for Janelle, which is the most, I should say, prestigious spot on this game, or in this game. It's a woman having multiple choices, you know. That puts her in the power position, and I know she just absolutely loves it. Like, which woman doesn't like two men that they're also interested in competing over them? Like, it's a dream come true in this process. And we see that Red spoke with Unique again, and he's trying to prove to Unique that he's not a thought. His job is not a thought job. He knows so many people in Dallas, sorry. He's so popular in Dallas. His name is good in the Dallas streets. And he's trying to prove to Unique all these things. And Unique is just not moved. She's like, I heard what I heard in these Dallas streets. Your name was involved. It wasn't anything that was particularly pleasing for your reputation, and nothing you say is going to convince me otherwise. And I feel like they're speaking about two different things. She's speaking about him being promiscuous and, you know, not being the best person, I guess, relationship wise. And he's speaking of his kind of like his occupation reputation, and like they're clashing on these fronts because they're speaking on two different things. And Red is extremely insecure because I don't understand why it bothers him so much that Unique is just not interested in him for whatever reason. Maybe she's heard some things, which is fine. I mean, they all do live in the same area, so that wouldn't be shocking to have heard something about someone there. But I don't know why he's taking it to heart, and I feel like maybe it's because he's on a show where anything somebody says about you that is negative will affect your chances. Maybe that's why it bothers him so much. But it's very annoying to see him fight so much to maintain this reputation that he has. You know, even when some people don't even know him, to really have anything starting their brains about him. He feels the need to dispel any potential thoughts, and it's exhausting. So far, I haven't seen him connect with anybody. You notice that Janelle wasn't really on his case this episode. I feel like she's decided that her two strongest connections was Herbert and Quentin, so she's off of Red. So it's looking as if Red is gonna be the one sent home. And let's not even speak on Marvin, who outside of this sex thing that he has going on has no personality and is just not connecting with these women on other fronts. We see that with Lee. Lee has given him several chances. She's tried to be open-minded, but she knows for sure that what he is stuck on, she's not into. So it's never gonna work with them. And then he had a connection with Unique in the beginning, and that quickly fizzled out, it seems, because we don't see her having the same enthusiasm over him anymore. So I feel like his days are numbered as well. Between Red and Marvin, I personally wouldn't know who to send home, because for me it's an equal playing field. I'm not into what Marvin is into, and I'm not into Red's personality. So to me, they're very equal. They might very well be sent home together, because I just don't see it. Keep Red for another episode. Who's he gonna connect with? The women are over him. Keep Marvin. Who is he gonna connect with? I don't see anybody into what he's into. Kyra is trying. She's tried to connect with him, but he says he wants to go back to the Caribbean. She's not into that. So for a long-term thing, it just doesn't make sense for Kyra to be, involved or interested in Marvin. And there's that. I haven't seen Kyra really connect with anybody like that. Yeah, she speaks with Herbert, but the only person I see Herbert interested in is Janelle. I mean, it's good to maintain your relationships, but we all know who you guys are really interested in. So I didn't speak on the fact that when Katarina came in and all the women saw Katarina, or maybe I did speak on it. The women are indeed threatened by Katarina, but I'm not seeing the interest as far as the men's side. Maybe we will see later on in the episodes, but in this particular episode, we didn't really see that much. So Aries spoke with Philip. We found out that she likes Philip. She has an interest in Philip. She enjoys flirting with Philip. So that's something we didn't know prior. So that's great. But Philip has this thing of always asking women about traveling, like if they're gonna travel a lot, because he doesn't seem like that's something he wants or cares to do. He seems like he wants the women to be home, be housewives, while he's the one traveling domestically. Let's make that clear. So I don't know. I feel like they might be good in certain regards, but I don't know if they'll work. I just don't know. What else? So yeah, we see Quinton and Lee. We didn't see much of their connection in this episode. So what else am I missing? The women discuss the men in the lounge, and didn't I tell you guys that from the onset of seeing Janelle meeting Christopher, I knew that she wasn't interested in him. And I listened to just a couple of reviewers, and they're like, oh, Janelle is not into Christopher. And that was very obvious when on the date she mentions exploring her other options, or having to seek other options, or whatever she mentioned. That made it extremely clear. The body language is very closed off. I mean, she was smiling, but that's what she does for all of her dates, so she finally verbalized it in this women's lounge, and she said she's just not into Christopher. So everyone could cut that Janelle and Christopher thing short, because I don't understand how you guys didn't see it, or if you guys just looked at their physical appearance and ignored their body language and just said, oh, they look good together. I mean, looking good together and actually being a good fit is completely different. I completely forgot to talk about Maury and Sierra. Oh, I did, or did I? I feel like they have a wonderful connection, and it could potentially go either way. It could stay as a friendship, or it could build up into something more serious. In the women's lounge, she did mention Maurie's name. We all know that each of the women choose 3 tops, right? So sometimes you hear the women say one name. That doesn't mean that that person is their top connection. That means that that person is one of 3 potential connections that that individual is interested in. And the show is really cunning in the way they edit the women's lounge and men's lounges, because sometimes they'll just mention one of the person's 3 connections, and sometimes the connection they mention is not even the number 1, it's the number 3, so it's tricky. So Sierra mentioned Maury, which made me smile. It made me happy because I like Maury. The women mentioned a lot of Herbert's name, including Katarina, Kyra, Janelle. Lee mentioned Quinton. Janelle is Quinton. Jessica mentioned Chris, the Nigerian. Who else? Nobody really mentioned Red. In fact, a lot of women mentioned Red not being in their tops, including Lee, Unique, Katarina, a lot of the women. And Marvin, because the women are just not into his kinks. And he was talking to Lee about his mouth kinks, like he liked to lick these explicit areas. And she's like, why is it that all of our conversations is about your fetish? Like, what is there to you beside your fetish? So they were rightfully placed on the block, and we were left on a cliffhanger because guess what? We don't know who's gonna go home. Now, I'm putting my bets on Red, because too many women called out Red's name for it to not be Red. So I feel like Red is definitely gonna go home, and that's fine because I don't think he's gonna find his person there anyways. So let me know what you guys think or thought about this particular episode. Is there anything that I left out? It was really funny though that Sierra mentioned that Christopher was attractive, but because he was wearing the hat, she didn't know if he was catfishing or hat fishing. But I assure you, Sierra, like, he has all of his hair. In fact, he has too much hair. And I just don't like Christopher's look. I mean, he has a nice face. I just don't like the scraggly, messy hair and beard. I just don't like it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think or thought about this episode. Share with me in the comment section. You guys know I like to reply. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. And I also noticed that a lot of the people that watch my content, many of them, over 50% of them, are not subscribed to my channel. So if you guys like what you have heard, you like my takes, you like my voice, you like, what I bring to the YouTube streets, you could subscribe. Don't be scared. Let's get us to 1,000 subscribers, you guys. Okay, so see you next time on another review with me back here in the ranting shop. Bye.